everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACCUPLACER Tutoring. You can see me. So hopefully everyone is doing well. I am just trying to figure this lovely thing out. A friend of mine actually told me, Audrey, we need to see your face. So she helped me to put it together. Thank you, Lynette. So welcome on here. Lower my background noise. Sure, we can do that. I can actually Alright, so welcome on in, everyone. I can actually say hello like this. What? Now I can see people, I can see comments. I don't have to like almost break my neck just to see. Hey Amber, waving to as many people as I can. Let's see if I can go back to seeing me. Yes! Alright. Hey Random, how are you? This is kind of fun. Alright, so everything is right here. So welcome on in. So I'm trying something new, so now you can actually see the person more than the hand and whatever pen color I'm using. So, right? Like the platform? I know it's different. It's new. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the love, everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing very well on this lovely Saturday. So what we're actually going to be working on tonight is called conversions. Now, if you're going to do GED, ASVAB, TEAS test, ACCUPLACER, SAT, ACT, anything in that region, anything that is basically some kind of assessment, they all have conversions on there. Now, some of you guys call it dimensional analysis, some of you guys are doing the conversions, some of you guys are doing a form of proportionality. So we're going to actually work on some of the most common, and trust me guys, you're only seeing part of them. There's another side. So we're actually going to go through little bits and pieces, touch and go, because we need to understand the conversion, especially if you are going to take your TEAS test. That's all you flip and do, right? And then actually, this is just the basics. There is some more advanced stuff that you have to do. So as you guys are coming in, go ahead and tap away. Let's see if we can get up to that 1K so I can get everything together. Hey Chaz, how are you? All right, so once you guys get started, then I can kind of break stuff down. I am not going to be here too long because I also have another appointment later on tonight. So I can only do what I can only do. So now you actually see a little bit more of my background. Yes, the bookcase is still there. Okay, yes, we got some other things. I could probably twerk it like this. Twerk it, yeah, tweak it. So we can also send everything else. Thank you guys. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the taps. We're like less than 400 taps away, so we can get ourselves started. Now, if you know somebody that's basically trying to get their TEAS test, they're getting their GED, their ASVAB, or maybe even just wanted to brush up on some math, share the live, because this is the live for you. If you're like, boom, I already got my conversions down, I know it hands down, well, this ain't the live for you. Not this one. All right. And then tomorrow night, before I forget, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of battling. I know, it's crazy. I just felt like, let's do something new. Let's do something fun. Let's do something funky. Let's see what we got. All right, there we are. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Now, the conversions. When you do your conversions, there are certain ones that you have to have down pat. Now, some of these exams will actually have some of these conversions listed, but you may or may not need to use each and every single one of them. So when we take a look, the main ones that we really should have memorized is like 1 foot is 12 inches. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, duh. No, there's a lot of people that don't know that. So there's no yeah does, okay? Then we have 3 feet is equivalent to 1 yard. And then also 5,280, so 5,280 feet, that's equivalent to 1 mile. They always have a word problem dealing with the feet to miles. They always have a word problem dealing with the feet to a yard. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you got all those in there. Oh yeah, don't worry, the guy out of your window, trust me, we got a lot of stuff over here. So if you want to go ahead and take a quick little snapshot, these are the ones that you're going to see a lot of. So the other ones is like your inches, your kilometers going to miles. That'll be great for you to know, especially if you're thinking about traveling outside of the country. If you're thinking about doing the military, duh, you need to know that one, okay? And then also you got your 1 ounce with 2 tablespoons. You got 1 tablespoon with 15 milliliters. You got 1 teaspoon. Notice the difference between table and tea. Okay, 1 teaspoon with 5 milliliters. 1 kilogram is like 2.2. Anything that you see in blue, if you're thinking about being a nurse, you need to know these. Hands down, you need to know them. Sorry, you gotta memorize them. So if you can remember Megan Thee Stallion's song, you can sit down and try to understand and memorize these things, okay? So you really have to put it into it. The pattern and the sequence. But here's my thing. No. Because when you get these problems, you're not getting them in the pattern and sequence. So if you want to put them in the pattern and sequence to help memorize, that'll be a good thing, okay? There's only so much hand holding that I'm going to be able to do, okay? So, hi, how are you, B? Okay, so visualization, good job. That's why you should do that. Yeah, here we go. All right, so if you have all this, you got your 1 liter into 1,000 milliliters, because if you need to know all these and slide them over, okay, so now you got your 1,000 millimeters with 1 meter, 100 centimeters, 1 meter, okay, 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter. So 1 kilometer, if you think kilo, 1,000 meters. So when you really think about kilometer is bigger than a meter. So a lot of these things you need to know. I had a tutoring client 2 days ago. This is what motivated me to do this today. Did not know this in green. What? And born in the United States, raised in the United States, didn't know any of this. Not even the 365 because of McDonald's. No. None. Crazy. Hey, Big Al, how are you? All right. I know, it's crazy. So, 60 seconds, 1 minute, 60 minutes. Think about what we used to have. Remember the tick, they used to have 60 minutes? Okay, that's 1 hour. 24 hours is 1 day. Did not know that. And then the woosah comes on through. I swear, the more that I tutor, the more that I come here on lives, the more that I'm learning that a lot of people don't know. You're doing a lot of relying on technology. You're doing a lot of relying on other things. So I'm scared. Anywho. So yeah, happy Saturday to you. Welcome in. So other things, we have our 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams. 1 milligram is 1,000. Here's this, micrograms. I'm going to be truthful. I will take a serious look. You'll see this mostly for nursing. I'm going to be truthful, never saw it. Never saw it a day in my life. Never heard of a microgram until I started doing research. So see, okay, there are some things. But seriously, 60 seconds is 1 minute. Did not know. Where are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, so then we have 1,000. Obviously, if you do it the other way around, I don't know why I wrote it twice, because I was in a rush. So we're gonna work on some simple, basic conversions. So again, if you need this, take a picture of it. Okay, I'm gonna remove it in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm shifting. Okay. If you want to take a picture of this, take a picture of this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're actually, oh, I just did this. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to work on some conversions, and we're going to actually do it from like one measurement to another. So we're going to have to like refer to basically these. There are more, because I know especially for nursing, there's a lot more configuration. And if so, the best person that I've seen that knows how to break all those things down is a blessed RN. Let me put her name in the chat. So if you don't know, you should follow her. Okay. So, blessed RN. So if you go, you follow her, that's her thing. Doing that whole doses calculations with very little math, just really trying to get you moving and grooving so you make sure, I don't know, you don't kill somebody. Hello. Okay, so really getting those percentages, really getting those doses calculations situated. All right, so when we, so grab my other pen. So let's say we want to convert, let's say we want to convert like 100 millimeters into inches. Okay, so everyone can see that. Awesome. So when we're thinking about this, we know what we're starting off with. We're starting off with 100 millimeters. So now we have to do a process that will kind of cancel things out. So since I want to go from millimeters to inches, and we're going to say millimeters is going to be in the numerator, right? So we're doing multiplication. I don't know why I did an X. From here on in, I'm not going to do an X, but some people know that. I want to go from millimeters to inches. So let's see, how many millimeters? Let's go down from milli, which is thou, to centi, which is 100. So it's like, how many millimeters can I get from maybe 1 centimeter? Oh, you passed your algebra retake. Good job. And we'll be graduating in May. Congratulations. That's a long time for May. May of next year. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Rocket. Appreciate that. No problem. You did the work. I just help with the guidance as best I can. All right. So you see it, Lynette? You see it? It's like, hey, trying to feel comfortable. I'm just kidding. So if anything, we're going back into the centimeters. So if we're taking a look, we got 10 millimeters, which will give me 1 centimeter. Okay? I know. Well, it was really bright not too long ago, but then all of a sudden, my light is just slowly dying. So I'm going to use dots instead of X's for multiplication, because it's doing something to my brain. So if we go from millimeters to centimeters, now I want to go from centimeters to inches. Okay, so when I go, I take a look. So when I'm looking at my inches, here it is right in the red. So 1 inch is going to be 2.54 centimeters. Okay. So the reason why it's almost like a top, bottom, it's just like when we were saying when we're multiplying a whole number with the fraction, and if both of them have the same numbers, they can almost cancel out. So like if I had 2 divided by 1/2, I know I can cancel the 2's out to give me to equal 1. Now, the same thing is happening here. Millimeters, millimeters, they cancel out. Centimeters, centimeters, they cancel out. And the only way they can cancel out if one's in the numerator and one's in the denominator. So now let's see what's left over. What's left over is inch. That's what we're trying to get to. So now if you want to think of that 100, we can put it over 1 if you want. It doesn't devalue the 100, but we really want to do the multiplication straight across. So if we got our 100 times 1 times 1, where's my black one? Here it is. This is going to give me 100. And then when we have 10 times 2.54 over the music is basically off. Let's see. How's that? Can you hear me, Big Al? Because the music is like mad low over here. But can you hear me now? Yes, that's a lot better. Okay. All right. So we won't do music anymore. Aw. Hey, Danny. But it was just too loud. Over here, it's literally at a 1, which is crazy. But okay. I guess it just translates differently. So that's all right. So what was I talking about? Okay, 2.51. Okay, times 10. That gives me my 25.4. So now all I need to do is divide my 100 by that 25.4. What do I get? We could probably round it to, let's say we round it to the hundreds, if it ever gets to that. Okay. I know, right? Like, it's on my computer. You see me. I know, right? All right, there you go, Danny. Thank you. So we have our 3.9, I can say 3.937 if I want it to the thousands. But if I want it as the hundreds, it'll be 3.94. And 3.94 inches. Okay, good. Welcome back, chocolate honey. All right, there we go. All right. All right, so let's try, and that's the best thing. And then plus you can see more of my page too. So it's kind of okay. Yeah, you get to see me, but then you also get to see the page a little bit more. I don't have to slide over as much. So let's say we want to go from 32 years into hours. So if you're 32 years old, let's see how many hours you've been on this planet. Not depressing or anything. Like, not at all, right? Right. Okay, thank you so much for the follows. Too many, right? Okay, so if we're starting off with the 32 years, so that means we kind of have to work backwards. And I'm going to use the dots for multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to use that dot for multiplication. All right. So, we're starting off big, which is years. Now we need to go from years, which is going to be in the denominator, to days. So basically in 1 year, that should be singular. How many days do we have? I know, just work with me, because that one tutoring session's got me screwed up. Okay, how many days? Good. Kaya saying 365. Danny, 365. Stormy saying 364. Oh, we're going to be doing one of those. Okay. Is it Campon saying 365? Chocolate Honey's 365. I know there's always like a thing that's been going around, like, do we have 365 days or 364? I know. Everyone's doing it. Okay, and then we have the 365.5. There we go. So we have 365. So now we're going to turn those days into hours. So that means in 1 day, that will give me how many hours? We could do weeks. Why? If we already know that there is some kind of configuration for hours and days, just go boom right to the hours and days. So here we go. We got those 24 hours in 1 day. Okay. All right, so with that being said, now look, you can cancel out years with years. You can cancel out days with day. Okay? All right. So when we cancel out years with years and days with days, guess what's left? What's left is your hours. Okay? Okay? You do the ratios, and that's fine. All right? So that's what's left, and that's what you're doing. So when you have, all you have to do now is, you notice, you got 32, you got 365, and you got 24. Okay, so now you just multiply straight across, and guess what? Your denominators are just ones, so you don't have to worry about the denominators. So I ain't gonna lie, I don't know this off the top of my head, so I'm gonna multiply these bad boys. But either, because since we don't have, since we don't have a calculator, or we can't use a calculator, we're gonna have to actually do the long. So we got our 32 times 24. I know. So then you have your 2 and 4, that gives me 8. 4 and 3 gives me 12. 2 and 2 gives me 4. Notice I put the 4 underneath the 10 spot, because that's where that 2 is at. It's in the 10 spot. So now you got 2 times 3 gives me 6, and we're going to add those two together. So that gives me 8. 4 and 2 gives me 6. 6 and 1 gives me 7. And you're probably saying, well, Audrey, why are you putting the answer over there? Because now we got to multiply the 365. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff right over there. All right. So thank you. She's a hidden figure. Yeah, I'm not a hidden figure at all. All right, so 5 times 8, so now you can see me sweating. The reason why I'm sweating, my room does not have air conditioning, and it so happened to be nice and warm. Yay! Yay! And then I'm 52, soon to be 53. Menopause. Let's just bring this in. Let's just bring this all in. All right, Chocolate Honey, thank you so much. All right, so we have our 30, 34. We're 3. 35, that gives me 38. Then we have 48, carry my 4. So 36, that's 40. Carry over the 4. I'm going to make that into a 4. So 42 and 4, that's 46. Then 3 and 8, that's 24. Carry the 2, 18, that makes it 20. Carry the 2, 7 times 3, 21 plus 2 is 23. All right. So, yep. We got a 0. 4 plus 8 gives me 12. Carry the 1. 8 and 5, that would be 13. Carry the 1. 6 and 3, 9, that makes it 10. Carry the 1. Then we got our 8. Then we have our 2. All right. So yes, right now, this is what we have. This is, if you're 32 years old, if it was to today, you would have been on this planet for 280,320 hours. So what are we learning from this? Don't waste any damn time. Don't waste any time whatsoever. Okay? Always take advantage of your moments. Like even this moment, if you're just like, you know what, there's something better I should be doing right now, do it. You can always see the recording of this, okay? So if that's the case, go ahead and do it. Life is way too short. All right? You're thinking you got forever, but you don't. So seize the day. Seize the moment. All right. So as I'm talking about seizing the day and seizing the moment, let's put these things in. Let's tap it up just a little bit. What are we? We are at, now I have to learn how to read this. Carpe diem, exactly. Okay, we're at 11K. So if we can, is it 11K? Yeah, the hearts. Here we go. All right, so if we can get it up just a little bit, that would be promising. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to pick some of the calculations that most people will see on their TEAS test. So see if that can kind of help some of you guys out. All right, so do you like this or do you rather the hand with the pen? Be truthful. Let me see. At the top, sure. It's kind of, let's see if I can do it like this. So you can screenshot the whole thing. Okay, you love it? It's a joy to see. You like this? Guys, the lies that you tell. Oh, thank you for the finger hearts. Look at you, Van. My goodness. I know for some reason my phone was, I can't see, yeah, that I have to get used to the whole of this. Not a problem. You like both? Okay. Yeah, you still get the same craziness. Like, there's no escaping that. But, ooh, let me show you something. Something came in the mail. Today. One, the left-handed edition. Okay, you're probably saying, no, how's that left-handed, Audrey? Well, this is a traditional book. This is my newest book, okay? I have definitely some more different resources in the back of this one. So this one is designed for pre-algebra and algebra 1. So you notice how it opens this way. Left-handed. This way. So finally, for my left-handed people, I got you, boo. All right, so if anything, yeah, mostly the same type of notes. Everything's exactly the same. The references, especially in this one, is just like the newer one. So on the very back, we definitely have some references. Okay, so, but here's a thing that I added. Let me put this underneath here for a sec. Okay, so let's do it this way. It's so much better. You know, it's going to take me a while to get used to all this. All right, so couple of things that is new, and this is for the pre-algebra, algebra 1. Keep forgetting I'm doing left-handed. All right, so we have our resources. We still have the same old okay, factor sheet. That works perfectly fine. But then, since a lot of people are starting to do a little bit more with radicals, you're doing a little bit more with square roots and cubes. I gave you the list of the cubes all the way to 15. Okay, hey Janice. Okay, so then you got over here, we still have the type of words and phrases that you use for word problems. But then I added, because you guys are going to do a little bit more with inequalities. So I basically have which is which sign. We still have to learn that. Okay, we have to get that, because I bet you cold hard cash, a lot of you guys are probably missing points because of this. All right, so when we have that on the very bottom, we got that interval notation. That's something that's going to be added into. Also, we got the rules of integers. Hey, thank you so much. Then we have the order of operations, so that's basically the same, just like the linear and the quadratics. That's the same. But I added, which used to be just in my 4th through 6th grade, I started seeing a lot of people were kind of missing, especially how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide those decimals. So I put that into this book, as well as the fraction operations with examples. So we have that incorporated in this book. The place values, there's some people that just struggle with that. Okay, a lot of kids are either just being passed on, so they need these as well. And then also lessen the confusion about percents, decimals, fractions, the conversions of that. All of that is inside of here, as well as the arithmetic and the geometric sequencing. Okay, you're like, ooh, where is she getting this book? I know, I created it. It's fun. Then, also, remember this whole thing, the distance, speed, and time? Okay, if I'm trying to find speed, I just cover up the S, and then I notice it's distance divided by time. Okay, if I want the time, I cover up the T. Now it's distance divided by speed. And if I want distance, boom, cover up the D. Now I just have to multiply my speed and my time. All right? All of this. So yes, now here's the thing. The left-handed book is not on the A. It's not. The A does not do handed books. It doesn't. I tried. Trust me. And they're like, no, we don't do that anymore. We decided not to do that. This is what we do. So that's why I designed my own, or I have my own. Here we go. If you go here, just go here, okay? Either you can go on my blank, which begins with a W, or you can go here directly and you can order the left-handed series. So I'm working on fixing the 4th through 6th graders, because I know we got 4th through 6th graders that are left-handed as well. So all those are going to be here. And these books are called the Ultimate Math Notebook. Okay, you'll see it. Okay, so for my left-handies, the cover is like this. For my regular righties, my latest cover is like this if you want the updated of the pre-algebra and the algebra. Okay, there's also another one for Algebra 2 and pre-calculus. I'm waiting for that to come in. I was just excited that this came in today. All right, so if you go there, if you want to see it again, just go ahead and take a little quick snapshot. If you have any questions about tutoring, if you are looking for some courses for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, maybe you just want to like brush up on some things because it's been a minute since you had algebra and now you need to get some kind of algebra course to help you with a new job or a new position and you need some assistance. There you go. Yep, a kid grade 6 can use it. If they're taking, like, say, pre-algebra or algebra 1, they'll work for them as well. Okay? Because I remember, the book's not out yet. It should be out. What do you mean? The book's not out yet. Okay, so how can you get it? go here. It usually takes like about a week for it to deliver, which mine did. So there's one that will say left-handed edition, and then the other ones you'll actually see. So if you want the left-handed edition, it's going to look like this. This is the one that's out right now. But then the general ones, I have a couple that the latest one is going to look like this. I like lava lamps, just in case you haven't figured it out. I was born in a different time. Okay, struggling with word problems? Yes. Now, if you're going for the ASVAB, I know I have no shameless plug, no affiliation with it, but I really think the best book for ASVAB, especially with the word problems, is ASVAB for Dummies. I know for a fact you hate the name because I hate the name too, but their word problems, especially when it goes from easy, medium to hard, they are spot on when it comes to the test. So if you do need that, definitely get that. All right. Okay. Oh, will those have the barcode? No. These do not have the barcode. The ones that have the barcode, because I wasn't doing my shameless plug yet, but here we are. The ones that have the barcode is the Audrey's notes. Okay, Audrey's notes 1 through 4 is ready and available. 5 we're currently working on. So if I open those, these are my exact notes with the QR code at the bottom. So if you scan this, it will take you directly to the live that's affiliated with these notes. And there's like tons of them. So probably at the end of this week, maybe not this week, next week, the end of next week, we might, book 5 might be out and readily available. Okay. All right. So yeah. So you have all of those, and I didn't even finish. This is another thing that I added on, graphing the linear inequalities and also systems of inequalities. And of course, on the other side is the system of equations, giving an example of substitution and elimination, as well as we have our repeat with the area and perimeter, then the reference page of a little bit of trig, and because that's what you're actually going to see. And then, hey, looky here, the conversions that you mostly see for like pre-algebra, algebra 1. All right. Math formulas like interest rate. No, I don't have interest rate in there yet. Maybe the next edition I'll have interest rate. Because if I put everything all in one book, one, you were going to have to pay $50 for a notebook. Let's stop and think about that. 2, the book will be like 300 pages. Let's stop and think about that. You ain't paying $50 for a notebook. You're going to be like, look, let me just take my butt to Walmart. Let's not lie to each other, because that's just not what we do on this platform. That you have under the first page. What do you mean? The notes I have under the first page. Which first page? Which book? Because I showed like 3 different books. The one right here. So is this? Okay. All right. I was like, what's happening? Okay. Okay. You're welcome. All right. So let's do a little more conversions. All right. Not a problem. So this is not all of them. This is just the basics. Okay, so I just really want you to introduce to that. Like I said, I do have a couple of friends that are really good, that are actually RNs, that they use that each and every day. You know, for me, I just know how to do the algebra and how to break down the concepts. So that's what I've been doing a lot of tutoring with lately, It's just helping people breaking down those concepts so they can actually do well. Some beginning chemistry. Okay. So here is one example that you're definitely going to be seeing. So 6 ounces. Okay. We want to know 6 ounces is going to equal how many milliliters? Okay. 6 ounces. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, so 6 ounces. So you're probably saying, all right, I don't remember what 1 ounce was. Okay, so if we recall, 1 ounce, I think I can put it right here. So 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 tablespoons. Okay, tablespoons has the capital T. And I know that 1 tablespoon is equivalent to 15 milliliters. That one I knew. Forgot about the ounces. Okay, knowing this bit of information, we want to go from ounces. Yup. Blessed RN is here. So make sure you guys click and follow her. Okay? Click and follow. Alright, I mentioned you earlier. Because trust me, like I saw your post and the struggle is real. I actually had someone didn't know how many days are in a year. How many seconds are in a minute. And she was dead serious. So, hi. This is what we're doing. Not a problem. So definitely meet up, match up, pair up, okay? Even if you're not into teaching or not even thinking about going to nursing, but you know someone who's thinking about it, have them check out her on TikTok. So we're starting out with 6 ounces. And I'm not using crosses, I'm using dots. So if anything, we want to get that ounce canceled out. So we're going to use what we know about the 1 ounce equals 2 tablespoons. So we put that 1 ounce down in the denominator, then we have 2 tablespoons in the numerator. So now I don't want to know tablespoons, I want to know milliliters. But I know 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. So some people are confused like where to put it. Should I put the tablespoons up here? No. If you ever see something like this as a multiple choice question, I know I've been working with a young lady that's trying to get her regents from New York, and if I see tablespoons in the numerator and a tablespoon in the numerator, immediate elimination. Okay, immediate. There we go. Yes, dimensional. So that means we have our 1 tablespoon, and that gives us 15 milliliters. Because this is what's going to happen. The ounces, they're going to cancel out. 1's in the numerator, 1's in the denominator. Let me see if I can zoom back in because I forgot I was doing that. Okay, 1's in the numerator, 1's in the denominator. Then the tablespoons, 1's in the numerator, 1's in the denominator. So those measurements cancel out. Then what is left over? Your milliliters. Okay? That's it, blessed RN. See, my thing is here, I'm not taking your ideas. If you want someone to do that doses calculations, go see a blessed RN. Okay? I'm not, we're not doing it. I'm not doing no competition, nothing. No, that's her. That is her. Shoot, I give product when prize due. I give it the attention. There it is. All right. So now, what's left over is what you're looking for, which is the milliliters. So what you're going to do with the numbers, all you're going to do is multiply the whole numbers in the numerator together and put it over the multiplication of the denominators. But the denominators just give me 1 to 1. You know, if you want to put it over 1, have fun with that. But all we're doing is multiplying 6 times 2, which gives me 12, and 12 times 15, that gives me 180. So we have 180 milliliters. So that's the equivalent of 6 ounces. Okay. All right. Yep. And you multiply straight across. That's all we're doing. Okay. That's all we're doing. So let's get with another one. All right. So we have something, and I have to admit, never heard, but here we are, micrograms. MCG. We have 4,000 micrograms. And we want to know how many milligrams can we get. I'm going to stand this up just a hair so I can get more of my page. All right, so you're probably saying, what the heck is a microgram? Because I know I did earlier today. So I have a 1,000, because again, this is not my world. So I have that microgram is equal to 1 milligram. Okay, so 1,000 micrograms is equivalent to 1 milligram. Yes. Okay. All right. So you're like, this is a lot you can participate in. You're like, yes, this is me. It's like all the other stuff. You're like, Audrey, you got that. You got that, girl. So since we're basically going from one to the other, and take a look. If 4,000, and I know a lot of you guys are probably like, oh, well, it's easy. It's this. Awesome. But if we have 4,000 micrograms, and we know that 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram, and we're trying to get to milligrams because the micrograms will cancel out. One's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. So if you multiply straight across, if you so incline, that will give me 4,000, okay, over 1,000. Now, before you reach for your calculator, yes, Joseph, before you even reach for your calculators, look, there's a set of zeros we can cancel out. Here's a set of zeros we can cancel out. Here's a set of zeros we can cancel out. Okay? So if we get rid of those zeros, you basically have 4 over 1, which is equivalent to 4. And for what? 4 milligrams. Okay. Right? I know, right? Okay. It's like too easy? Awesome. So here's the thing, Joseph. I'm going to tell you, there's some people out there. This is probably groundbreaking. Okay? So it might be easy for you, but remember, the reason why I have this platform is for people that always struggled with math. The people that was just like, I just can't, I don't know what's going on, or I have a math phobia. I don't know why I don't have a doctor's note about it. This is a place where I really just want to kind of break all down. Okay? Awesome. Thank you. Like you, my hands, right. You know, because we all of us had at least one bad experience with one person that knew the math, that made you feel this big, and then you were just like, all right, I'll just be dumb for the rest of my life, and then I will pass this over to my children and my children's children, and we will just make it a thing for us. No, it's not hereditary, okay? It's not hereditary at all. All right, so we just need to have, I know, right? Can I get a note so I can't, I can't participate in gym because I don't do well in math. What? Okay, so there we go. All right, let's, okay, got about 15 minutes. Let's see if I can get with something that would be useful to all of you. Okay, here's one, possibly for cooking. We can do that. Let's talk about 5 liters. And we want to know how many teaspoons there are. She's like, oh, she's going extra. Okay. How many teaspoons? Okay. See, I don't have to say anything. I got the master right here. She's like, do you have to memorize all that? Yes. Because if you can remember Megan Thee Stallion, if you can remember all the songs, like doing the button, all that stuff, that means you can sit your butt down and memorize all of these lovely things. Take it all in. Take a picture. Okay? And there's more to it, but at least this is something that's right here, right now. You know that. Go ahead. Let me play the next Beyonce song. I bet you everyone will know every word. I don't. Right? So it's kind of like, is this important for you to understand? And especially if you're going to be a nurse. Let's try not to kill people. Okay? That'll be so great. Okay? Eventually, you're going to probably see me like, oh my God, Audrey, how are you? Not feeling well? Yeah, I'm going to be like, oh wait, is that the girl that couldn't remember to calculate? How can I get out of here? Like real quick. Okay? You can't see all the way. Let's see if we can do it like this. Right? Yeah, we don't want to unalive. I'm so sorry. I know. TikTok's just going to shut me down one day. I don't know. I have no sense. I feel like someone that's like in their 80s like, oh, I don't know what I'll be doing. You know exactly what you be doing. Stop shoplifting. So, not a problem. All right. So, we are trying to get from liters to teaspoons. Okay? We're going from big to little. So, as we're doing this, memorize them. Oh my God. Orange. Is that Orange Juice Jones? Like, I saw you and him walking in the rain? That? Or am I showing my age again? All right. No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Well, how you know? Acting like I don't know stuff. I don't know that person. All right. So we have from liters. Let's break it down this way. Let's go from liters to milliliters. Because since we're going from large to small, let's do what we know. So we know we got 1 liter. And we have 1,000 1,000 milliliters. Now, we want to go from milliliters, not to teaspoons, but to tablespoons. So looking at your list, I showed it a couple of times. How many milliliters or how many teaspoons is in a milliliter? That's a lot easier. I know, Netta, you don't know me. You have no idea. You just know the sugar plum fairy that I am when I come on here. I'm gonna be straight gangster. Good. So we have 1 tablespoon and we have 15 milliliters. I mean, hell, I used to work in a prison. I'm good. And I used to play professional basketball. All right, so now we want to go from tablespoons to teaspoons. How many teaspoons is in a tablespoon? I had to dig deep on this one. To milliliter, yes. Yep. So I go from large to smaller to where I need to be. Why do I put teaspoon? Because that's what we're trying to get to. Okay, you got it? Okay. See, everybody's got sides. I swear, everybody's got one situation away from being arrested. I came close a few times. That's weird. Okay. All of a sudden, something went crazy. I don't know what happened. Okay. So you have a math phobia? Okay. So since we're going from liters, we have to break it down from liters to milliliters. So when we do that, liters is gone. And then milliliters is the next low. And the lowest that we already know, that 1 tablespoon. So if we get a tablespoon, and then it will get us to our teaspoon, which there is 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. So this is how we're going from 5 liters to teaspoons. Now, here's my question. Ready? Is my answer going to be large or small? Okay, yeah, so we're canceling out. We're canceling out till we get to where we want. Is my answer going to be large or small? I got 5 liters and it's going to teaspoons. Think about it. If I went to the corner store right now and got a 2-liter bottle of soda, and I said, okay, let me measure how many teaspoons it is. Yes, okay? So we got a large, we got small, we got large, we got large, we got large. We have large, we have small, okay, really big. Yes. Because are you going to sit there and drink whatever soda you want of a 2-liter bottle with the teaspoon? That's crazy. You be dying of thirst by the time you get down through it, okay? So when you look and say if there's like answer choices and you notice that some of the answers are around 5, maybe 10, no. They're not going to be your answers. Process elimination. Cast them out. So now we're dealing with 5 times 1,000 times 1 times 3. Okay, so if we 5 times 1,000 times 1 times 3, that's going to give me 15,000. And then my denominator, I have 1 times 15 times 1. That's going to give me 15. Yep. and drinking. You'd be dying of thirst. You're like, you know what? I'm not really that thirsty. All right. So 15,000 divided by 15. Yes, Brittany. Okay. We got 15 divided by 15 gives me 1. So we have 1,000. Let me put it down here so you can see it. So it's going to be 1,000 teaspoons. Okay, 1,000. Good, Big Al. There you go, Netta. All right. Okay, so we're trying to keep things simple. The major thing is we just want to do some cancellation. Get from one extreme to the next. Once you understand your liters, your milliliters, your grams, your milligrams, your kilograms, because especially for you guys that's going into nursing, you guys are really going to be digging into that. For those that are taking the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, you're going to see a combination of liters, but you're going to see pints, you're going to see quarts, you're going to see gallons, you're going to see cups, right? But you're also going to see miles and feet. Those are the ones they love doing that, especially like if they do the maps, you can do it using proportions, and that's perfectly fine. But when you get into the T's test, you're doing almost like you're doing in chemistry, right? You're breaking it down from one extreme to the next. Okay, so you see a lot of that for that level. Okay, so GED, if you are going to see it, you're going to see it how we've been doing it, which is just a simple going from inches to feet. Like the map measures this in inches and it really measures that in miles. So it's like, okay, so how many miles is 6 feet or 6 inches? And then you do your cross multiplication, the simplified version. That's what you're going to see on the GED. Okay, going from one extreme to another, you're going to see that for the T's test. You're going to see maybe 1 or 2, maybe not extreme as like 4 or 5 expansion, probably like around something like this up here, maybe like a 3 you might see in the ACCUPLACER. Okay, and that might be a couple questions here and there. Hello, Nicole, how are you? All right. Okay, questions. I know today was a short one, I know, but it was a fun one for some of you guys. It was an interesting one, you know, because I know I don't do a whole lot of conversions, but it is vital if you are thinking about getting your T's test. If you're having a person that's going to take the Regents. If you have someone that's thinking about doing a GED, ACCUPLACER, ASVAB, go ahead and give me a call. I do tutoring. Now, as I said before, I have my notebooks. Okay, so I did an expansion on my notebook, so I have more resources for my notebooks here. So if you like how it's all written out, this is a notebook that I designed. You usually have the formulas, but as you can see, for this time, I couldn't fit all those formulas in that itty bitty box. That's why I kind of scooted all the way over. But I have all my resources here to help, you know, school's about to start. But then I expanded. This one is for my pre-algebra and my algebra 1. So we're hitting on a lot of references. A couple things I did add, like this time I add the squares and the square roots and the cubes and the cube roots. That's going to be vital, especially for this year. The inequalities, a lot of people generally get them mixed up, as well as the interval notation. And if you're probably like, what's an interval notation? If you're going into Algebra 1, you're going to see that. Okay, so you'll see it as an inequality, but then we're also going to be making mention of interval notations, because a lot of tests are starting to have those things. Then the traditional order of operations, like the linear inequalities, but then I added the fraction operation. I'm noticing a lot of people, adults, students, are still struggling with fractions. So I put some examples of fractions as well as decimal operations in there. Then your place value, and then this, a lot of people are still struggling with this. Percentage, decimals, going from one to the other. What is the rules? So it's all listed right there for you. All right. And then arithmetic. I know it looks like it says arithmetic, but it's pronounced arithmetic. Geometric sequencing. So I have the two formulas that are there, as well as what are we doing for the measures of central tendencies. We still have people get this mixed up. Now, the measures of central tendency is mean, median, mode. That's it. What about range? That's not the measure of central tendency. That's the measure of variation. So I don't know who started this whole thing about putting range or putting, range involved into it. No, that's not the measure of central tendency. Just the triple M's. Okay, that's all. So then, or measures of variation, sorry. Then we have system of equations, systems of inequalities, how they overlap. Just give you some examples of that. A little bit of Pythagorean theorem, but then also the conversion chart. Okay, something more than what your regular old composition book can have. All right. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. Look at here. So, give me a moment. Actually, give me almost 3 hours, because sometimes it gets crazy because I have to get going soon. Just go here and you can type either this or this. So that is where you will get, and you will find all my recordings from February the 2nd to yesterday. Okay, yesterday's live. I go live every day. So tomorrow, it's going to be a fun little live. We're going to do a little bit of battling with another friend of mine. So yes, go ahead and screenshot that. Do I count outliers in the range? Do you count? Wait, hold on. Now all of a sudden your thing just went away. I don't know where it went. Okay, there's some other stuff that's going on here. So I'm sorry, I saw something and I don't know where it went. So, what was I saying? Oh, so we're going to do something a little fun tomorrow. So it's not going to be so much math heavy, but it is going to have some connection. So that'll be at 6 o'clock. I lied. 6 o'clock tomorrow. So just be prepared. But I would normally just go on once a day because I'm starting to get students coming in. But again, if you need some assistance and you want to get the books, you can go here or you can go here. And that includes, my new left-handed version. Okay, so all my lefties, I got you. All right, you get the same resources, but we're just opening up on the other side, and trust me, that was really a joy for me to do. And yes, you need that one, bring it, come and get it. And this one I actually dedicated to my dad. August the 20th, it will be 9 years since his passing. So I dedicated, he was left-handed. And the other left-handed book that I'm going to do, I'm going to dedicate to my mom, but she's still alive. But, I have two left-handed parents. You can't just praise one and not praise the other. Good God. You ever try to do that? Like praise one parent and not the other? And both my parents are Jamaican. Enough said. Enough said! There's no pleasing a Jamaican parent. No pleasing. All right, so yes, lefty there, good. So I got you. So we have the left-handed version of it, and then we also have the pre-algebra, algebra 1. I know a lot of people say, Audrey, why don't you put it on TikTok Shop? Not yet. I was on TikTok Shop for a minute, and I just don't like it. No, okay? But if you also want the Audrey's notes, you can also get Audrey's notes as well. Okay, this is the one that is a copy of all my notes, and it has a QR code that you can scan, and it just takes you right to it. So again, my notes here on TikTok is just really kind of random. If you want to take a look at the videos on YT, you can do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it right here. I don't really like it there. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, my loves. I wish I can stay, but I do need to get ready for my other client. But one, thank you so much for coming in. I see that I achieved my goal. Thank you so much. I couldn't see the fanfare. That's the one thing that's different, but I'll figure something out so I can see that. But for the most part, I want you guys to have an amazing night. Thank you for stopping in. All right, there's a lot of stuff that's here. Okay, 35K, I'm perfectly fine with that. So tomorrow night, come on over, okay? Come actually probably see me again. So I'm hearing you guys like this. So now I gotta be all preppy. Nah, I'm still gonna put my hair in a bun. I'm not even gonna carry around. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow night, and I don't know how to close this, so yeah. You're like, how do you end this live? Let's see. Okay, I found it where it is. All right, everyone, have a lovely evening. Blessed RN, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are following her if you guys are going into nursing. If you want, you also can follow my friend Lynette, Learning with Lynette, if you want to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide using an abacus. So those are the best places. All right, have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.